What is going on, deck builders? I'm your friendly neighborhood host Alex, and welcome to Deck Tech Arcade. I've assembled a spicy deck list for the new Dominaria legend Grand Warlord Radha, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. Weaklings beware, Grand Warlord Radha is at her absolute best when you're flooding the board with creatures. Radha is not a commander who plays nice with others. We're going to establish a dominant board state early on and press our advantage throughout the game. The Grand Warlord's ability enables us to pump a lot of mana into massive spells and creature abilities early on in the game by utilizing low-cost, aggressive creatures. Overall, red and green struggle when it comes to card draw. That's why it's important to play patiently and know exactly when to sell out for the big play. And of course, any hyper-aggressive strategy is going to be highly susceptible to board wipes and targeted removal. That's why it's very important to keep some cards in reserve at all times so you can always be prepared to rebuild. The goal is to start playing creatures as soon as possible and have Radah on the battlefield by turn 2 or 3 consistently. I'm also a big fan of Jiraga Tree Speaker here. If you have a lot of mana early on and no spells to put it into, you can put it into her instead, and soon enough you'll have all your elves tapping for 2 green mana. And don't sleep on Orcish Lumberjack. Playing him on turn 1 almost guarantees big plays on turn 2. Another highly underrated creature here is Copperhorn Scout. Not only can he enable you to make a bunch of extra mana, he can also give your creatures pseudo-vigilance, which is kind of neat. And because making massive amounts of mana in the early game is awesome, we can't forget about Priest of Titania. And if you're running any green deck, you have to have Green Sun Zenith. Being able to go turn 1, Green Sun Zenith X equals 0 and throw a Dryad Arbor on the battlefield is fantastic. And of course we have to have Xenagos the Reveler. He can protect himself with 2/2 hasty Satyr tokens and make a ton of mana. I'm also a huge fan of spells like Harvest Season and Druid's Repository that reward us for attacking with creatures. And who could forget about the classics like Sol Ring or Gruul Signet? And if you're looking to invest a lot of mana into something, Everflowing Chalice is the perfect choice. Now, mana rocks are awesome, but you want to know what I like better? Cards. Lots and lots of cards. It's important to invest in cards like Sylvan Library that can give you a significant advantage. Remember folks, life is a resource, so don't be afraid to use it. And let's not forget about Lifecrafter's Bestiary and Cream of the Crop. Both are very valuable in a creature-heavy deck. And we deserve some kind of reward for casting so many creatures. That's why we have Shamanic Revelation and Collective Unconscious. Don't let those 1/1s go to waste. Turn them into 2 cards with Skull Clamp. And if you have a lot of extra mana lying around, Commune with Lava is a great way to extend your hand massively for a whole turn. And it just wouldn't be a Gruul deck if we weren't blowing things up and destroying everything in sight. It's important to have plenty of options to make sure that we can continue to press our advantage and keep our opponents on their heels. I play in a blue heavy meta, so cards like Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast are just what the doctor ordered, but you might not, and if that's the case, swap these out for more creature, artifact, or enchantment removal. I've opted to include a land destruction sub-theme. Now Radah is a take no prisoners kind of commander, and these spells fit that perfectly. The more creatures we can get onto the battlefield, the stronger Radha's ability becomes and the closer we get to winning the game. Don't underestimate Kazandu Tuskcolor or Tilinali Summoner. Investing a lot of mana in either of these two will reap you great rewards. Tendershoot Dryad is another all-star here. Being able to make a new token at the beginning of each player's upkeep is downright ridiculous. Emrakul's Evangel and Spawning Pit are often overlooked but are very valuable in a theme like this. Both of these spells help you get the most out of every creature you play. And seeing as we'll have a lot of extra mana to burn, investing it in spells like Tempt with Vengeance and Firecat Blitz is never a bad thing. Pair all these ridiculous token-making spells with Perforos or Impact Tremors, and your opponents will be begging for mercy in no time flat. And if you feel like turning all your 1-1s into 6-6s and taking infinite combat phases while you do it, Beastmaster Ascension, Aggravated Assault, and Hellkite Charger are definitely for you. Nobody wants to wait a whole turn to start wrecking face. That's why we've brought along a couple of hasty bushwhackers and some quality tutor spells to ensure that we assemble all the pieces of a game-winning puzzle as soon as possible. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed episode number 1 of Deck Tech Arcade. If you want more videos just like this one, smash that like button. And if you're new around here, subscribe, and welcome to the Deck Builders Society. And you know what's up. Stay classy, Deck Builders. I'll see you next time.